Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about scuba diving. Scuba actually stands for self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. If you were interested in being certified, what you would have to do is first you would have to find a local dive shop that offered classes. And the way that the classes run are you can do them every night for about a week, and you learn in the pool first. And so they teach you how to use all of the equipment and make sure that your swimming skills are strong enough. And then your final test will actually be in the ocean, somewhere local. And then after you're certified, you get a dive card with your picture on it and an ID. That way, if you need to be identified later, or you can use it for various dives in groups. Some of the equipment that you would be using, or possibly using, is a wetsuit. They have many different kinds, varying in thickness. They have a 3 millimeter and they also have a 7 millimeter. You can get a full body wetsuit. You can also get what they call a shorty, which means that it only goes to your knees, and that's used for more tropical diving, warmer water. Here in New England, you would definitely not use that. You would either use the full 7 millimeter, or you would use a dry suit. What a dry suit is exactly what it sounds like. It's a suit that would keep you completely dry when you enter the water. It goes around all the way around to your face, and it also requires additional courses because it is very dangerous, so they need to show you how to use the dry suit. Other equipment that you would be using is a vest that would you can fill with air and then deflate the vest if needed. That's what helps you with your buoyancy to move upward and downward through the water. You have an octo, which that is what you put in your mouth that you breathe through, which is connected to the tank on your back. You also would use a mask, snorkel, fins, and various weights of different shapes and sizes. The weights you would use according to how much you weigh. Basically enough that would be able to get you to sink under the water. There are 2 different kinds of ways that you can enter the water: a land dive or a boat dive. Beginners typically tend to do land dives because it's easy, it's shallow, you walk right into the water. As in a boat, that's deep and you have to get your bearings really quickly. There are different levels of scuba diving. You start with open water, which you would do probably up to 60 feet. There's also advanced. You get additional certifications for dry suit. You can get additional certifications all the way up to master diver. But there's also specialty courses like wreck diving. If you're interested in seeing sunken ships, you can do wreck diving. Cave diving as well. You can get a lobster license for an additional fee. So here in New England, you could go and actually catch your own lobster and bring them home to eat. When you're diving, you have to be very careful. You use a dive chart. You measure the depth that you go to, the time that you're under the water for, and what kind of air you're using. This is very important because depending on these items, you can become very, very sick. You can even die diving if you don't keep track of this important information. The kind of air you're using, you could use normal air, which is a mixture of oxygen and nitrogen. There's also NOS, which is nitrous oxide, which is not straight nitrous oxide, but it's more concentrated. This allows you to go under the water for a longer period of time, using up less air, but it's also more dangerous. If you do not keep track of your dive chart correctly, you can get gas poisoning in your system, makes you feel like you're drunk. You might not be able to get back to the surface if you're not paying attention. That's why it's always important to dive with a buddy as well. Another thing that could happen is you could get the bends. The bends, what that is when you try and go up too fast from the bottom, and the nitrogen that's in your system will start to expand in your blood vessels and can cause them to burst, including your lungs. Anything is very serious and you can die from it. That also brings up flying after you dive. If you've been under a certain amount of time, You are not allowed to fly for 2 days after diving. That's just a safety precaution because if you do go up in a plane too early, same thing will happen, the bends, and the nitrogen in your system will expand as well. So don't get on a plane after diving for a long period of time. If for some reason that does happen, they do put you in a hyperbaric chamber. It's also called an iron lung. You can sit in this hyperbaric chamber and they'll slowly bring you back to normal pressure so that it's not all at once. To communicate underwater, they use specific dive signs between you and your buddy to let them know that you're okay, you're running out of air, any kind of emergency, you want to go up. So these are things that you have to learn and memorize before you can become a diver. That's pretty much it. Scuba diving is really fun. You can see all different kinds of fish. You can look at different kinds of shipwrecks. But also be reminded that it is very dangerous, so you have to take it very seriously. Thank you.